cocksuckers. It's the 89th edition of the MMA Podcast, May 7th. Thank you so much for tuning in. We don't have too much to talk about, but we got a full house tonight. We'll let you know who's on the call after this intro, and I'll let you know what we are going to talk about. Bellator 118 and Glory 16 was this past weekend. Yao and Ross, both on the call. They were at Bellator 118 to impress. I was at Glory 16 to impress. Both really fun cards. Anderson Silva back to train MMA. We'll talk about whether he'll get his belt back or not. A ton of fight announcements. And of course, UFC Fight Night 40 this coming weekend in Cincinnati, Ohio this Saturday. Eric Brown versus Matt Silva. That's going to be an interesting main event. We'll break it all down. Let's do this shit.
You're listening to the MMA Podcast!
Hell yeah, Lenny Hart. You are listening to the MMA Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, you can listen to the MMA Podcast on YouTube. You can listen to us on iTunes. If you want to subscribe, just go to the MMApodcast.com. Click the links at the top, or just follow us on Twitter at the MMA Podcast. You guessed it, and you can listen to all of the episodes there. Like I said, we got a full house tonight, so I'm not even going to waste time. You know what? We have had a lot of these guys on recently, but one guy who took a little break from podcasting, he's making his MMA Podcast debut. I mentioned he's on the call. He's the best Jew in the business, the most intelligent Jew businessman, Ross Finkelstein. What the fuck is up? Where do we find you on Twitter? How the hell are you?
Listen up, Mr. Jacob. You see, this is not my MMA Podcast debut. This is just the rebirth of the best damn thing that ever happened to this show. You see, the Jew is back. The Jew is here. The Jew is on the MMA Podcast. It has been a while, and I've missed all of you, but here I am right here in the flesh. You see, last night, I beat the hell out of Ramses. I embarrassed him. I took him down 3-0, and then someone was shot. Who was shot? I don't know. Tune in Tuesday. We'll find out. But you see, next Tuesday, I face you, Jake. But before I do that, I take over your show tonight. You can find me on Twitter at Ross Finkelstein EB4.
Hell yeah, it's not his debut, but he's making his return. Also, a correction, I was just made aware in the Skype chat that I said Eric Brown and Matt Silva again, which I do apologize. We won't see Eric Brown versus Matt Silva. Instead, we'll see Eric Silva versus Matt Brown in that main event. Hopefully I don't fuck that up multiple times this show, which I probably will now that it's in my head. The other guy coming from New York, he's training. He and Ross went to Bellator 118 recently. He live though. What the fuck's going on, Yao?
Hey, cat. Yeah. What's up, guys? Yao the Truth here. Here to break down everything MMA, boxing, band camp, the money team, word on the street.
He instructed me to put on Adrian Bronner. Interesting choice. We also got, as always, you hear him here all the time. He's patrolling the mean streets of Baton Rouge. We're doing intro music because, frankly, we don't give a fuck tonight. What the hell's going on, Alan? You there, Alan? Yo, Alan's on a call. That man's probably shooting down black people. Ninja Larson, you're also on the call. Like I said, it's a packed house tonight. What the fuck's going on?
The world famous Ninja on the MMA Podcast. Everybody knows how to follow me, where to follow me. Just follow the buzz.
Hell yeah. And of course, we always leave him for the very end, because frankly, no one can follow him. You know him as Ramses, the Aunt Jimmy Show, the word on the street. If you didn't listen to last night's word on the street, you missed You missed a hell of a finish, a hell of a trivia competition. We got a new YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com/user/WOTS podcast, or just search Word on the Street. It's also on the iTunes subscription if you subscribe to the MMA Podcast on iTunes. Ramses, what the hell's up?
You know that when it snows.
What's happening? Jake from the MMA Podcast. Thank you for once again having me on the show. It's a pleasure. Here I am, just bringing you the info, hitting you like a shovel to the back of your stupid head. I'm here, folks. Word on the street, and just program note: anytime Ross Finkelstein speaks tonight, it is pre-recorded. He is presumed dead. Word on the street.
That's right. If you didn't listen to the end of last night's Word on the Street, we played a little game of Russian roulette. Ross, I don't know how he is doing, but let's get straight to the I would say MMA news, but the first topic I want to talk about isn't MMA. And if you do want to join on the call, actually, if you want to call in tonight, we already have 6 people on the damn call. It's too many people. I'm sorry, but you can listen to us live on Ustream. Alan, are you back yet? Or are you still also presumed dead like Ross? You live, Alan?
They can tweet at us too, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. Tweet at us at the MMA Podcast, the Aunt Jimmy Show. Alan and Ross, man, I feel sorry, but let's get to it. The boxing card this past weekend, you had Bronner and Cotton winning on the undercard, or I guess not the undercard, but it was below the Floyd Mayweather and Marcos Maidana fight. It was a fight a lot of people scored differently. I saw a lot of people scored it for Maidana. I saw a lot of people saw it a draw 6-6. Some people thought Floyd won. And tonight, instead of doing any sort of speaking order, just because there's so many of us, we're just going to jump in, let your voice be heard. As always, I'll try and edit out the spots of silence after it's all over. But someone jump in. Who won, Floyd or Maidana?
Yo, there was only one fight on this card that mattered. Actually, 2 fights. Broner versus Molina and Floyd Mayweather versus Marcos Maidana. Floyd won that fight 7-5. Broner won his fight 10-0. That's all that matters.
I'd like to let you all know that the Truth is like high and out of his mind right now. There is not a chance in hell that Mayweather won any one of the first 6 rounds. If anybody can tell me which one out of the first 6 rounds that Mayweather won, please do that now, because he didn't even come close. So if it wasn't a draw, then Maidana had it all the way.
As you can see, Adrian Broner, he ain't go through no trouble in that fight, man. He wasn't thinking about the fight. The Bengals got Deshaun Jackson. He was hoping they got Michael Vick. Fuck the fight. He won that shit easy.
Thank you.
Retarded, yo.
So 7-5 Floyd. Did anyone think that Marcos Maidana won more rounds than Floyd did?
Marcos Maidana
Absolutely.
I thought the fight was at least a draw.
Calling the fight a draw is ridiculous, though. Like, come on. You guys know, like, we're breaking down fights every week. Like, you guys know fighting. So to say that was a draw, like, I could understand that from an uneducated fan, but you guys know fighting. So to call it a draw, I'm a little surprised.
Mayweather was up against the ropes for half the fight.
Okay.
For 6 rounds of the fight. He was up against the ropes getting mauled.
He wasn't getting mauled, and that's a part of boxing.
He got punched in the body so many freaking times.
Okay.
Every single one of the rounds. Who was more active? Who landed more body and headshots? Who looked like the better fighter for the first 6 rounds?
It seems like most people score 5 of the first 6 toward Maidana.
Listen, if you're scoring a fight based on skin tone, there's no basis of judgment here.
So are you saying Yao is only picking Floyd because he's black?
Yes, that is exactly what I am saying.
Floyd is also the best boxer alive right now.
So. He is the best boxer alive right now. He got beat. Got beat.
Gennady Golovkin.
What is GGG? A clothing line?
He's the
It's
best
Floyd
boxer in the
Mayweather's
world.
worst nightmare if he would fight someone that high up in weight.
Well, that's what they have weight classes for.
Floyd's a
Guess what
pussy,
Marcos
though.
Maidana did?
Yeah,
He beat Floyd Mayweather on Saturday night.
That's
I rest my
interesting
case.
because I mean Floyd is 46-0. I don't understand how you beat him and he's still undefeated.
What about that one
Actually,
fight
Floyd is
against
44-2.
Castillo? Yeah, that fight against Castillo.
What? That was like, that was years ago. Why are we still bringing that fight up?
Okay,
We
and a
lost.
fight years ago doesn't change from a loss to a win all of a sudden, just because 5 years went by.
He won the fight though.
He lost the fight.
The only way that Mayweather won this fight is because he promoted the whole damn event. That's the only way those two judges, like 116, 111, are you joking? Pick me the freaking, tell me what rounds would give Mayweather a 116, 111 score.
Boxing's
There
rigged,
is
yo.
no way.
His
Not even by the
boxing
punch
won him the
stats.
fight. His boxing won him the fight.
Him standing up against the ropes, not countering, and getting hit in the body, in the head repeatedly.
He didn't start
That
countering
wins
off the ropes
fights.
in the third round.
He didn't start countering until the 7th round, and
Oh
that's
my
when
God.
he finally got Medina off his game, and he started countering and being like the Floyd Mayweather that he was.
Wait, okay, who actually saw the fight? How about we start there?
I saw
I
that
saw the
shit,
fight.
man. It was retarded, yo. I puked.
Oh my God.
That's the bottom line.
I watched the fight. I was perfectly sober. Yao must have been high as a kite because he has no idea.
46
And that's
to 0.
why Medina is the champ today, and that's why Medina is going to give Mayweather a rematch to challenge the man that beat him. It's already set in stone.
Yes. Speaking of that, who should Floyd fight next? Because before the fight, a lot of people were saying that with a win, Amir Khan would earn a fight against Floyd. But Amir didn't look that good, and a lot of people are saying, actually, Maidana said after the fight that he would grant Floyd a rematch because he won. But a lot of people are saying that it should be Maidana next with a win against Tim Bradley. Manny Pacquiao, his name is obviously back in the loop, even though, sadly, I doubt we ever see that fight. Yeah, I'll throw it to you first because you're on TMT's dick so hard. Who next for Floyd?
Whoever he chooses will be the right fight for him. I
And
would
that's
like
the
to
problem.
see him. I'll be happy with whoever he fights. Just seeing him fight is an honor. I'm glad I'm living during this era to see him fight. One day I'll tell my grandchildren about him. One day I'll tell my children about him. I'm just very thankful that I get to see him fight.
Who else do people think should fight Floyd next? Or should we move on to Bellator and Glory?
They need to throw his ass
I have
back in
something
jail.
to say.
Yeah.
You see, first off, there's one fight that we need to see that we're never going to see because politics and boxing and Bob Arum.
I don't need to see anything.
And yeah, no one asked
You
you.
can't see me.
No one's being scared by 4-year-old children. The one fight we need to see is Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather, but we're never going to see that. That is the biggest fight you can put on in boxing, and that will remain the biggest fight you can put on in boxing, but they're never going to put it on because egos get in the way. So what's left? What's the most logical thing? In my opinion, a rematch with Marcos Maidana. Marcos Maidana should have won that fight, or at least had a draw, in my opinion. He did not lose that fight. It was controversial enough to promote a rematch, and a rematch is very, very, very interesting. Another possibility is if Miguel Cotto somehow gets past Sergio Martinez, you can do Miguel Cotto and Floyd Mayweather in a rematch also. But Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather is the one fight that we really do need to see. That is a fresh matchup, but we're not going to see it anytime soon because of the egos involved.
No, let's be honest here. We're not going to see that fight because Mayweather is afraid of Manny Pacquiao. Mayweather's afraid to go against anybody with the hand speed that has enough to do damage. And like Ross said, Medina, I mean, I think that fight's already made. I mean, that big, tall, white dude in the suit with the gray hair was like, Mayweather, do you want to fight him? Yeah. All right. Medina, do you want to fight him? Yeah. All right. Then it's done. So I don't know if anybody caught that after the fight was over, but he seemed like an official white dude to me, and those people are the ones that make the fights. So
he has no say-so.
Official white dude.
He has no say-so.
I mean, what is this? I mean, from a Floyd fan, I honestly want to hear what you've got to say. I mean, Floyd picks all of his opponents, and it seems like more times than not, he goes with the styles that are going to be very good to his sort of way he fights.
Well, he's at a position now where he said it on All Access, if you guys watch it. He's at a position where he can choose who he wants to fight. And no matter who he chooses, they're going to step up because they know that's a huge fight for them. So if you're in a position to where you can choose, why not? I mean, why would you? He's not, clawing for any fight right now. He's the biggest draw. He's the guy that everyone wants to fight. So he gets to choose who he wants to fight.
Yeah, what color of belt are you in jiu-jitsu?
Why does that matter? It's just a belt.
It's a question. What kind of belt are you?
It holds my gi together. My belt is blue. It holds my gi together.
A blue belt, exactly. So that would be like you competing against white belts for the rest of your life. Just new guys off the street. Look, just every white belt in the world. And, what's the purpose of that?
That's not fair because they're all professionals. No.
Are you a fighter? No. You just want to get paid.
Those are all professional. Those are all professional fighters, just like him. They're all professionals. Just because he's better doesn't mean. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
That has a chance. Do you want to fight and defend your honor, defend your title with honor, or do you want to fight somebody that you know you're gonna mow over?
Damn.
I mean, that's what do you want to do?
That's not a good.
The Ninja's dropping truth on us tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
No, he's not. He doesn't even make sense. They're all professional boxers. Floyd a pussy, yo.
Dropping truth.
Boxers. Yes, he does make those fighters look like. I mean, if boxing had belts, he does make them look like white belts.
What are we gonna do next? Johnny Bones Jones is just gonna pick people that are in the tough tournaments and fight those guys.
What?
If he's in that position and he's able to do that like he is in a position where he can choose who he wants to fight, believe it or not. But what?
But that's not the freaking. That's not what champions are about. That makes you a paper champion. You have no honor when you do that. When you want to be a fighting champion, when you want to defend your belt with honor and be an honorable boxer, the quote-unquote best boxer in the world, you have to face the best contenders in the world. If Johnny Bones Jones just picks guys off the street or guys out of Bellator or guys out of the tough tournaments, then you're never going to see the best Johnny Bones Jones. He's just going to retire with the title, and it means absolutely nothing.
What do you have to understand also is that Floyd is not just a boxer. He's a businessman and entertainer.
He needs to pick one. He needs to pick what's he want. If he wants to be a businessman,
for real,
then give up the title and go be a businessman. If you want to be a fighter, get out there and fight the people that deserve to fight you, not just pick some. I've never heard of
Bronner, I'm a rapper and I'm an entertainer and I'm fucking a clown on Saturdays. What the fuck?
Look, at the end of the day, he's still undefeated, 46-0.
That's it. AB, the can man. Actually,
he can do whatever he wants.
Come on, guys. What is this? The boxing podcast? I believe it's the MMA podcast. What is this?
Africans, I just beat the fuck out of a Mexican.
No, come on.
Adrian Bronner being classy after the fights. Let's move on to the mixed martial arts. We didn't have a UFC this past weekend, but we had Bellator 118, Glory 16. Before we talk about the cards, I'll talk about Glory briefly. Yao, Ross, whoever wants to kick in first, tell us about your trip from New York City to Atlantic City and covering Bellator 118, and Joe Warren is now in love with Ross Finkelstein.
And a girly MMA. Don't forget to talk about her.
Yeah, I'll start
MMA.
off. Yeah.
Shout out.
So yeah, me and Yao attended Bellator 118.
Yeah, Ross can tell you.
I'm already speaking, sir. Thank you very much. Laugh to yourself. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so me and Yao attended Bellator 118. We were working for Fight Parrot. I shot the event. I photographed
Team
the
FP.
event. Yao, yeah, shout out to Fight Parrot. Yao was doing the live results. It was a very good event. I can't really comment too much on the event itself because when I'm shooting the event, it's very hard to really focus on and process what's going on. You're more so just trying to get the shots and not so much thinking about, wow, that was awesome, or scoring the fight. So scoring the fight live, the main event, I scored it like every round for Joe Warren because I just really wasn't paying attention, and all I saw was Joe Warren just getting a shit ton of takedowns and landing some good shots. He got hurt a little bit, and it was a tough fight, but it was a fun fight. Atlantic City is a pretty cool place. It was my first time ever being in Atlantic City. When we were on our way home, when we got to Jamaica Station, Yao stole my laptop and my camera. So I still haven't gotten it back. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, was this true?
Fucking thievery.
Nah, that's not true, man. It was probably another guy.
It was Yao, and I have the text to
Did
prove
you
it.
watch him take it?
Yes.
Damn, he snatched your gear.
That's cold-blooded, yeah. Yeah, reppin' the Fight Parrot. Shout out to the Fight Parrot. Yeah, the paranoid is in the background. But, yeah, tell us about the fights. And tell us, dude, I'm super high playing parrot noise in the background. Don't mind me. Tell us about Warren. He was, like, staring at you every time you took a picture of him.
Yeah, every time like I would take a picture, like when I was shooting.
Hey.
What?
Listen, boy, you sit back and let the Jew do the talking. Every time I would shoot a picture of Joe Warren, he was staring directly into my camera. There's like 9, 10, 11 shots of Joe Warren literally staring directly at me. I'm not sure what he was trying to convey. I'm not sure if he wants to kill me. I'm not sure if he wants me to fight him for the interim bantamweight championship. I don't know if he wanted to come back to me in Yao's hotel room. I'm not.
Fuck.
Are you not prepared to confirm that Warren is or is not a fancy boy?
I call him out and he covers his mouth like a little fancy boy. I mean, what is that?
They call me fancy boy.
Or just like the state that this, we literally are barely two topics in.
fancy boy.
Yeah, I was already that.
Oh man, what a train wreck of a podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
we're
Thank you for bearing with us.
We're 2 topics in, and this show has already gone to shit. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Hell yeah. Glory 16 was in Denver. I went to that shit this past weekend.
Hang on, sir.
Whoa.
I specifically requested that we talk about Bellator and a girly MMA being there.
What's the scoop? What the hell happened? Hey,
I
girly
heard she was
MMA.
there. Some dude behind my back is what I'm hearing.
Can we confirm or deny this?
We can confirm this.
Yo, man.
Can I make a statement?
Yeah, please do.
She was with a very large man.
All right, no problem, man. We'll get this guy out of here. We'll get him DQ'd. You know
Was
what
he
I'm saying?
black?
No,
He looked
Damn
German.
right.
he did look
So-
German.
So he was white? He was a big old white dude?
Very.
Why didn't you guys say hi to a girly MMA for me?
I actually tried to.
What, is she too good to talk to you?
No, he had to stay at the back of the arena.
But like all
yeah.
women that Yao's faced, they always turn him down.
All right, well, just letting everybody know out there that I'm keeping tabs on my girly. You guys have been warned.
Yo, Ninja,
What up?
is there a problem?
What?
What?
I think we have our next undercard fight for Tuesday.
Damn. The tension is building here on the MMA podcast. But I'm going to break down Glory 16. Enough about A Girly MMA. Warren won the interim bantamweight championship at Bellator. Glory 16 was fucking awesome. Pat Barry, a lot of people were pumped to see him. Unfortunately, he was ended pretty brutally. And we'll talk about actually in a second whether or not you think he should hang the gloves up. Errol Zimmerman winning a four-man tourney to earn him in a spot in another four-man tourney. Mark DeBont winning the welterweight belt. Raymond Daniels with an amazing two-touch switch spinning back kick. Fucking beautiful. Josh Johnsey in a fight I really enjoyed. Got bloodied up, beaten the fuck up in a 10-8 first round. Won the second and third round. Forced a sudden death fourth round and won that. I was really impressed with Josh Johnsey. Yeah, Glory 16. They put on a hell of a show for being a promotion that hasn't been around a while. You know, they were really smart, and their front office staff is a lot of K1 people who have experience in the business. Glory is really doing an amazing job making themselves the UFC of kickboxing, really the prohibitive place to go if you're a world-class talent. But before we move on past Bellator, Glory, any thoughts on Joe Warren, on Pat Barry losing, whether or not he should retire? That beautiful spinning back kick knockout by Raymond Daniels, like we're doing this whole podcast, which may have been a mistake because it's already going to shit. What did you think of Bellator, Glory? I think Pat Barry should hang up the gloves. He would be an amazing coach. What do you guys think?
It's some sad shit about Pat Barry, man. I didn't see it happen. I just, all of a sudden, the tweets and news flashes start coming in, the texts, rest in peace, Pat Barry. What's it like being on the moon?
Oh my God.
It was knocked out of the goddamn orbit is what I'm hearing. And I'm panicking, I'm getting all these news flashes and I'm like, say it ain't so, Pat Barry. It's like hyper dive, like he's obviously made his choice, and that's a sad thing. But I love the guy still, man. Much respect, and that's the word on the street. That's the bottom line.
I don't get the big deal about Pat Barry. I don't know why, but I just don't like this guy. Can anybody on this podcast say that they're a fan of Pat Barry and tell me why they are a fan of Pat Barry?
I just like the guy personally.
You know him?
What? Like, what did he do?
He saved my life once, man.
Go into details.
All right, look, let's just say I was in a bad spot, and Pat Barry kicked down the door, so to speak, and that's all I'll ever fucking reveal about this.
I don't think Barry really did anything in the UFC that people thought he was top flight talent. But the guy is just so likable and has such an outgoing personality. It's sort of the opposite of Floyd. Floyd's such a piece of shit. People actively root against him. Barry's such a cool motherfucker. And if I hear that fucking vibration go off one more time, Ninja, I'm gonna drive to fucking Nevada and I'm gonna murder you with a hacksaw. Jesus shit. Yeah. Anything else on Bellator and Glory? I'm just fucking around.
Dealing
Ninja.
drugs or something?
Alan, are you fucking back? What the fuck is going on? I think Alan died. Any more thoughts on Glory, Bellator? No? Good. Let's move on. Anderson Silva. He's cleared back to train MMA. Whether you like him or hate him, it was really hard to see him break his leg, just scream in pain, and it's awesome. He's probably going to be back early 2015. Still a lot of sorting out to do in the middleweight division, so who knows who he'll fight. But he's cleared to train MMA again. Seems pretty determined to get back to that championship. And the question I have is very simple. Will Anderson Silva be a UFC champion again? Anyone, jump in.
No, absolutely not. There's
Anderson Silva
there's-
is the best fighter in the
Let him
entire
speak.
world.
Let him speak, cocksucker.
Yeah, that was.
Yay! Let the dirty freaking Jew speak. Yay!
There's no way Anderson Silva will win the UFC championship at 185 pounds. We've already seen him go against the current champion, Chris Weidman, twice. Both times did not go in his favor, and both times went completely in the other way. He was dominated worse than he's ever been in his entire career in both of those fights. So he's not going to win the belt at 185 pounds as long as he's around. And if anyone can beat him, he's not going to be able to beat that person either. At 205 pounds, he can't beat a guy like John Jones. He will struggle with that size. It's a horrible matchup for him. There's no way he's going to win the belt there. If he were to drop to 170 pounds, which he can do, he's a master manipulator of his weight. He has his best chance of winning a belt there. But he's not going to drop to 170 pounds, so he's never going to win a belt because of it. Stylistically, he'd probably match up very well with someone like Johnny Hendricks. Johnny Hendricks is only 5'9". Anderson Silva's 6'2". And Anderson Silva's takedown defense is fantastic. Johnny Hendricks' takedown percentage is not tremendously high. Anderson Silva can stop Johnny Hendricks' takedowns.
I'm
and knock
tremendously
him out.
high.
This is all a fantasy.
Yes, you are. So Anderson Silva could win the belt at 170 pounds, but he's not going to drop to 170 unless he's going to fight George St. Pierre, which is not going to happen at least anytime soon. So, long story short, to answer your question, Anderson Silva, as great as he is and as superhuman as he is, to already be back in training literally 5 months, less than 5 months after, 4 months basically, after destroying his shin on Weidman's knee, he's not going to win the belts ever again.
I think saying that someone can't do something is ridiculous. Anything is possible.
He's not saying
Especially
there's no
saying-
way he can. He's saying he doesn't think it's going to happen. Of course it's possible, but I'm saying, do you think it's going to happen? Don't put words into the Jew's mouth. You Jew.
I didn't say that he said that.
I think it's fucking impossible.
Hell yeah. I think it's impossible, too, for the record.
I think nothing is impossible. I think we are capable of achieving anything we want to in this life, and if we work hard for it, we can do it.
That's the
My
gayest
God.
shit I
Screw
ever
all-
heard. Ninja?
Screw all
God.
that crap. Is it finally the ninja's turn to talk on this topic? Because it seems that I'm the only one that knows what the fuck I'm talking about here. So,
What?
so may I?
What?
May I
says a
have
lot.
the floor?
Oh my
May I have
god.
the floor, please? I'm about to drop a pipe bomb on you guys. Anderson Silva is still the greatest fighter in the history of the UFC. Yeah, you heard it from the Ninja. He lost to Weidman. I'll give him that. The first fight, he was clowning like he does. He got caught. It's inevitable. The second fight, I don't know how anybody can consider that a clear victory. How can you consider Anderson Silva kicking somebody
What the hell
and
is
his
going
shin snapping? How can you consider that a clear victory? If you keep my phone.
Please, like, seriously, stop fucking doing that. Well, what's going on for everyone listening who's wondering what the fuck is happening? Ninja has his phone set to vibrate every time a message comes in on Skype, which I don't know if you can switch your phone to silence maybe to stop it, but let's all just not use the Skype chat when Ninja's talking so it doesn't vibrate. Yeah, stop being a complete fucking cocksucker. Go ahead, Ninja.
So anyway, like I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by Yao's fucking taser ass over there trying to shock everybody on the podcast.
What?
Anderson Silva's still the best. He's going to come back. He's going to be better than ever. It's Anderson Silva. That's all I need to say. It's Anderson Silva. He'll come back. And to say that, the second fight was a clear victory for Weidman, that's ridiculous. I mean, it was a freak accident. He he is the one that did the offensive maneuver and kicked Weidman. Weidman checked it. The bones hit in a freakish way, and that's what caused Anderson Silva to lose that fight. We all know, as much as I hate to admit this, that you don't beat Anderson Silva. Yeah, Chris Weidman kind of owned him the first round, but I'm reluctant to say that, from past experiences, I don't need to bring it up, but you cannot, Anderson Silva's not beaten until that final bell. Again,
did you fight Anderson Silva?
Did I fight Anderson Silva?
Yeah, you said from personal experience, Anderson isn't until the final bell.
Well, yes, I happen to be very good friends with somebody that Anderson Silva has fought that was beaten almost at the end of the 5th round, which I'm trying to stay very clear of that topic for personal reasons, yes.
Hell yeah. Yo, our boy Davey Boy tweeted in, follow him on Twitter, DAVEI_BOI. He said, Silva's takedown defense, have we forgotten Silva, Sonnen 1, which sort of gets back to that. He's hating on Anderson Silva's takedown defense. Ross, yeah, you
Jake.
have a retort to that shit?
Well, I have a retort to what Ninja said. Ninja, you're right. Anderson Silva is the greatest of all time. But that doesn't mean he can just come back all of a sudden and win the belt back. I mean, Muhammad Ali's regarded by most people as the greatest boxer of all time. That doesn't mean Muhammad Ali is going to come back tomorrow and beat Vladimir Klitschko in a fight. Just because you're the greatest doesn't make you invincible, and Anderson Silva is no longer invincible. He's been figured out. What happened in the second fight was the changing of the guard. It was Anderson Silva trying his tactics in the first round, trying to stay to his Muay Thai roots and not go taunting. In the first fight, he taunted, and he got knocked out because of it, because he was figured out. Second fight, he tried to fight very carefully, very technical, and he tried his Muay Thai clinch on Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman did what nobody else had the balls to do, and that was just punch him in the face while he had him in the Muay Thai clinch, and he dropped him and nearly finished him and dominated the rest of the round. And in the second round, checked his kick because he didn't respect Weidman's leg checking ability and his ability to time the kick.
Oh my God.
And he broke his leg. That is what happened. Anyone who thinks that anything else happened is ignorant because, or just plain blind to see that Chris Weidman fair and square, decisively and brutally destroyed Anderson Silva twice.
You're telling me
Can we move on?
Purposely put that knee up to check that kick and with the intention of breaking Anderson Silva's leg.
Can we
It's
move
called
on,
the destruction, or what, the demolition, what the fuck is
It's
it called,
the
Ross?
destruction, and there was no intention of breaking his leg.
That was UFC 168.
He didn't plan to break the leg.
On.
He planned to check the kick and make Anderson Silva hurt himself instead of Chris Weidman.
What about Eric Silva versus Matt Brown? Like, what are we talking about?
You're
Silva
so butthurt, yo. Oh my God, yo is so butthurt. This is amazing.
No, like, we just got a complete breakdown of Silva versus Weidman too. Like, I don't know why we're talking about that.
Because we're talking about Anderson Silva coming back to mixed martial arts, and that's the leg break where it all happened. It ain't your show, cocksucker.
When the world famous ninja,
you're fired.
When the world famous ninja comes on a podcast, he can talk about whatever the hell he wants to talk about. When Anderson Silva fights Chris Weidman for the 3rd time and defeats him, he's gonna come in and he's gonna fight it like Machida. He's gonna stay back the whole time. He's gonna respect Weidman's power because we all need to do that. Yes, Weidman's a great fighter. He's proven that, but he's gonna come back. He's not gonna get crazy. He's gonna stay back and fight a Machida-like fight, and that is the answer to beat Chris Weidman.
Nah, they're not gonna fight for a 3rd time because after Machida knocks out Weidman, they're putting him on the MySpace prelims.
Ross, after all, oh my God, after all this shit, I'm going to let you get the final word in, then we're going to move on.
I'm hanging up.
Yao, hang up. Ninja, stay on because you guys need to hear this. I pray for you guys because come July 5th, there's going to be a deceased Brazilian man by the name of Lyoto Machida. And come 2015, if Anderson Silva wants another piece of Chris Weidman and he can earn that shot at Chris Weidman, well, it will be very sad to see Anderson Silva
I actually haven't
resting
weighed
in
in.
peace.
Yeah. Fucking give us your 2 cents, Ramses, from the Word on the Street podcast.
Yeah, this is the absolute truth, people. You said nothing's impossible. You put your mind to it. If you believe it, you can achieve it, like Robert Kelly said in his song, I Believe I Can Fly. But I'm telling you right now, I am saying it's impossible for Anderson Silva to come back and win the title. It's impossible. It's not going to happen. It's like Christopher Reeve. He's got a better chance of winning a horse race than Anderson does of winning the championship belt back. And Christopher Reeve has been dead for 10 years. And that's
Oh my God.
and that's the bottom line.
And that's the bottom line. And that'll wrap up the Anderson Silva topic. Before we get to some fight announcements, let's do the 10 solid seconds of sports where we talk about all sports, not MMA. NBA and NHL playoffs enter the second round. Miami and San Antonio looking hot in the NBA playoffs. Well, Pittsburgh, Montreal, LA, and Chicago leading their series in the NHL. NFL drafts tomorrow. Names like Clowney, Manziel, Bortles, and Mack await their new teams. All right, next topic. Let's see how fucking off track we can get on this one.
Go Blackhawks.
The UFC is aiming to make Mark Hunt and Roy Nelson in Japan a heavyweight bout. What do you think about the fight? And hypothetically, Hunt versus Nelson, who you got? I got Big Country. Somebody jump in.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. It's a fun one. A lot of people have wanted to see this for a little while. I don't think Roy Nelson has what it takes to beat someone like Mark Hunt. When Roy Nelson fights guys who are in the upper echelon of the division, he gets destroyed. When he fights guys who are just outside of the top 10, he knocks them out cold with one punch in the first round. He's done it many, many times, and he'll continue to do it. But Mark Hunt isn't one of those guys who's outside of the top 10. Mark Hunt is one of the best in the world and had a very, 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 very close fight that was ruled a draw against a roided up Bigfoot Silva, who's now been buried. So Mark Hunt is one of the best in the world and arguably top 5. I don't see any way Roy Nelson can beat Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt is just better.
Buried the guy.
Roy Nelson, yeah, he's a better jiu-jitsu practitioner. He's got a better grappling game, but at the end of the day, we know he's not going to shoot a takedown or pull guard or try to grapple in any way. He's going to strike, and he's going to get his ass kicked by someone with glory level striking.
You like watching people get fucked for free?
That's right, Jeff. Listen, we're gonna see someone get fucked for free. Ninja, Ramses, Hunt versus Country.
Listen, if you are not interested in this fight, if you're not excited for this fight, you shouldn't be an MMA fan. This fight is going to be freaking amazing. I don't know, maybe you guys are a little bit more skilled, maybe you're a little bit more knowledgeable than me, because I cannot pick a winner for this fight. I see this fight as a Stephan Bonner, Forrest Griffin, just two guys standing in front of each other until somebody can't throw his hands anymore. This one's going the distance. It's going to be close. It's going to be a split decision, and it's going to be a war. I cannot wait. This may be one of my favorite fights for the year.
Ramses, do you mind if I go ahead of you?
Go for it, man.
Thank you. This fight is in Asia. I'm pretty sure they're going to let Mark Hunt win. That's it.
Yeah, you're close, Ninja. It's going to be I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen in this fight. It's going to be a draw. Nobody's going to win. The thing is, both of these guys, what are they, coming off broken hands? They're going to break their hands again on each other's thick skulls. And they're going to just go, it is going to go the distance. It's going to end up being a boring fight once, all their hands are going to shatter like glass. They're going to realize they're old men and they ain't got it anymore. And it's going to be over. I'm predicting one of the most boring matches that we have ever seen. And that's the truth, and that's what's going to happen. And I'm sorry.
That's the truth. That's the bottom line. Anyone else? Hunt, Country, let's move on. Jim Miller, Donald Cerrone, that's official for New Jersey. I don't know if you and Yal will be able to go and check it out. I think it's also in Atlantic City, the same place you just saw Bellator. But, Ross, actually, you were telling me about how this fight sort of came about. Why don't I pass it to you first so people know the way all of this happened, because it's pretty fucking confusing.
Yeah, well, they all declined to fight me, so the UFC had to scramble, and they put together this matchup because Khabib didn't want to fight me, Josh Thompson didn't want to fight me, Jim Miller said he wouldn't fight me, and Donald Cerrone would never fight me in a million years because he's a bitch. So they kind of put this fight together. Actually, what really happened was they've got a couple guys in the mix to fight. It's Jim Miller, Donald Cerrone, Josh Thompson, and Khabib Nurmagomedov. Khabib and Thompson won't fight each other because they're teammates, so they're obviously not going to fight each other. So Khabib also wouldn't fight anybody because it's Ramadan, so he's out. That leaves Jim Miller, Donald Cerrone, and Josh Thompson. Well, Thompson, you obviously have to put on San Jose because he's a draw there. That's the Strikeforce base. People around there know him. He's fought there many times. And AKA also is based out of San Jose. Jim Miller has to fight in New Jersey, Atlantic City, because he's from New Jersey. So he has to be on the Revel card. So that left Jim Miller and Donald Cerrone to fight. And this fight is interesting and very, very, very close, too. These are two guys who have had their ups and downs, two guys who are very well-rounded, both very good strikers, very good grapplers. Jim Miller is a better technical jiu-jitsu practitioner. He's got a more technical ground game. Donald Cerrone, though, I think is better with transitioning from his striking to his grappling, using his striking to set up his submissions. I really, really love this fight because both guys seem to have kind of found an up. They're not on a down. Both guys won their last fight and looked great in their last fights. So it's really, really exciting. I can't pick a winner right now, so I'm just going to remain neutral. I'll give you a winner when we're closer. But yeah, we will be there, me and Yao. Hopefully covering the event as media, but who knows?
Both of these guys get tons of bonuses. They're both all around really good. Anyone else thoughts on Cerrone taking on Jim Miller?
Sorry, man. This fight doesn't mean a damn thing to me. I'm not excited about it at all. And honestly, I hope it gets canceled.
That's Susquehanna weed. I've been telling you about that shit. Yeah.
Oh my god.
We should just cut them.
Nothing else. Miller, Cerrone, Yao, Ninja.
No.
You don't give a fuck.
All right, we're moving on. What's the next fucking fight? Aldo Mendez 2, official for August 2nd. I think that's a fight all of us can get pumped about. Chad Mendez has gotten a lot better since their first fight. Maybe can give Aldo a little bit more of a challenge. It's going to be at the Staples Center, UFC 176, August 2nd in Los Angeles. Who you got? Does Chad Mendez have a chance in this one?
Yes.
I guess I'll go first, though.
Okay, go ahead, yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
All right. I feel bad for Chad Mendez. I really feel like Jose Aldo is going to finish him in the first round again. Chad Mendez is very good, but I just really feel like Jose Aldo is going to finish him in the first round.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Chad Mendes very much so has a chance in this fight. I give him a 50% chance, honestly, to win this fight. When Chad Mendes fought Jose Aldo the first time, he was just a wrestler. And he couldn't take Jose Aldo down. He had Jose Aldo's back. He was up against the cage. He took him down. Aldo got back to his feet, held it against the cage, was able to spin himself around and knock him out with 1 second left with a knee. It was impressive as hell, but he kind of cheated to get that. I don't want to take anything away from Aldo because he's an incredible champion and he really just hasn't been challenged. But we've seen if he can get into the later rounds, you may have a chance at pulling off an upset. Lamas was able to take him down and steal the 5th round against him in their last fight. Mark Hominick was able to do it. So it definitely can be done. Frankie Edgar also was able to take the later rounds against him. So I think Chad Mendes is a guy who has the cardio and the ability to go 5 rounds with Jose Aldo. He also has the striking now. He has improved tenfold working with Dwayne Bang Ludwig. I mean, he is 10 times the fighter he was, 1,000 times the fighter he was when he fought Jose Aldo the first time. So he's so much better, and he can actually stand with Jose Aldo. Who knows how long, but he has the ability to do it at least for a little while. So he's not just a wrestler. What do you think he's going to do
about those leg kicks?
Well, he can check leg kicks now. He knows how to actually strike. He knows how to actually kickbox. That's one thing he didn't know before. So he's going against a really, really, really solid Muay Thai fighter in Jose Aldo. He's going to be able to at least defend for a little while. And he can also use some striking to set up takedowns, which is something he really couldn't do before. So it makes it a much different fight. Now, Jose Aldo could come in and look 1,000,000 times better than he did in their first fight and absolutely destroy him because Jose Aldo is just that good. And he improves tenfold each fight. So, and huge things go on at the Nova União camp every single day. So it's a killer camp. Anything can happen. I think it's a 50-50 shot in this one. And I think it's one of the highest. I think it's one of the highest level fights you can get in MMA right now. This is truly the number 1 and number 2 guy.
Honestly, my top 10 pound for pound, I got Jose Aldo number 2 and Chad Mendes number 10. I mean, this is one of those few fights where you get 2 guys who are pound for pound killers. You were going to say something, Ramses? I'm assuming to the effect of this fight doesn't matter.
This fight is absolute bullshit and doesn't matter. But let me tell you what I can't believe the crap I just heard. All right, people, this fucking Aldo versus doesn't
on the
look
street.
Good. Doesn't look good for Aldo, man. He's already fucking doing repeats. They're already showing reruns. Like this fight already happened. Nobody cares. Nobody. Why is this fight going to be any different than the first? It's not going to be. It's going to be corny, man, and that's the word on the street, and that's the bottom line.
Well, that's the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard. This is going to be an insanely good fight. Yao Ninja, anything to throw in before we move on to the fights we're pumped for?
Yeah, I just want to say that Chad Mendes is not that good.
Damn. Ninja?
I have to agree with Ramses on this one. I don't think this is going to be a very interesting fight. I'm not hyped, and I will tell you why. I will tell you the reason why, and that's Jose Aldo. Now, me being a highly trained, a very skilled and deadly assassin, we operate with a set of skills, a very particular set of tools, and I see that in Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo has a huge variety of tools, and he continues to expand that and learn those tools every day. So, like Ramses said, this fight is not going to be any different than the first one. In fact, if it is, Jose Aldo is going to finish him quicker. This man has insane, work. He's got great tools. I wouldn't go as far as to say he's on my level, but he's a great fighter. He's got a lot of tools. Aldo all the way, first round. Anyway, Aldo chooses.
Like a doctor.
Yeah, let's get to it. Let's get to the fights we're pumped for May 2014. Mine's going to be on UFC 173 on the main card. It's a welterweight fight. You got Robbie Lawler, who just fought Johnny Hendricks for the welterweight title, taking on Jake Ellenberger, another top welterweight. Both of them have comparable skills. They both can put heat behind their punches, and they're good wrestlers. I cannot wait for it. Lawler, Ellenberger, that's the one I'm most pumped for. Yao, give us your fight of May 2014 you're looking forward to. I'm assuming it's going to be a black guy that you think's going to beat up a white guy, because you're a racist.
Hell yeah. Daniel Cormier versus Dan Henderson. I can't wait to see DC get back in there at 205 and knock out, what's his, Ben Henderson.
Cocksucker.
Yo, Ross, give us your fight you're pumped for May 2014, cocksucker.
Listen, when the juice listens, so I'm going to drop some knowledge on all you fools right now. You know, AB, the fight I am most pumped for is the main event of UFC 173. Ally Aquinta versus Mitch Clark. The best fight of the year so far. I cannot wait to see Ally Aquinta, the next lightweight champion, dominate yet again. 4-0. Motherfucker.
Hell yeah, Ninja Larson, what's your fight of the month?
Which one did I say earlier? That was my fight of the month.
Your fight of the month is Munoz Musauzi. Tell us why it's your fight of the month.
Munoz Musauzi. I cannot wait for this fight. No, seriously, this could be a good fight. Mark Munoz has a lot of tools. He's got a lot to bring to the table. But anytime Gegard Mousasi steps in that ring, I am always excited, always pumped. This guy is a killer. He's going to be on the rise. It's going to be great. Anytime that guy fights, I watch. I pay attention. He's a great fighter.
Last but not least, Ramses, give us your fight you're pumped for.
Yeah, I was gonna originally go with our man, our friend Darren Cruikshank, the Detroit superstar, versus Eric Cocaine. But it was just announced. I'm just seeing this on my Twitter feed here. They just announced a new fight. It will be the Hornswoggle versus El Torito rematch. Probably gonna happen Monday on Raw. Hornswoggle was not injured. It's a good fast turnaround. He's gonna come back and reclaim his vengeance and whatnot. You heard it first.
Hell yeah, those are the fights we're pumped for. Alan, I don't even know if he's still on the call. Is Alan still on the call? Alan's still there. Alan, did you come back? I might just drop him off the call because it's literally been an hour. Alan, I'm dropping him off. Those were the fights we're pumped for. Where the fuck is the pause button so I can stop the damn music? What's the next news topic? We got a couple of fights announced for Dublin, July 19th, UFC Dublin. The first one, Conor McGregor and Cole Miller. That might be the headliner, as Conor is obviously the most popular fighter over in Ireland. Who you got in that one? The striker taking on the grappler.
Really? We're going to leave it up to the best person on this podcast to start off with this one. All right. Conor McGregor,
Ramses?
like I said on another podcast, Conor McGregor is not going to lose in Dublin. He's the kind of fighter that he's going to feed off that crowd. He's going to feed off all that energy. He's the kind of fighter that if you've got him down and what you think he's going to be out, the fans are going to lift him right back up. You could probably beat that guy into a bloody pulp in Ireland, and there's no way he's going to lose that fight. Those fans are going to go nuts. I can't wait to see that personally. I just want to see the fan support and see Conor McGregor just feed off of that.
I guess I'll go. Both these guys suck, to be honest. I'm not a fan of either of them. I want to fight Cole Miller. I want to fight. What's the guy's name? Who is he fighting?
CM Punk?
No. Who's the Irish guy? What is his?
Sheamus?
No.
Conor
McGregor.
Way to come prepared.
They both suck, to be honest, and I hope they're listening to this. If you are, both you guys suck.
All right,
Ross,
let someone who actually fucking makes sense, someone
All
who
these
actually
clowns.
knows what they're saying, someone who's a fucking the Jew, the best in the business. The reason that people actually listen to this podcast, not to listen to some bullshit a troll says, or someone called the Ninja says something he says. Who gives a shit what they have to say? No one cares. They come to see what the Jew has to say. Now, this fight between Conor McGregor and Cole Miller, whoever's trying to talk over the Jew, shut the fuck up. Cole Miller and Conor McGregor is a fantastic featherweight fight, and I cannot wait to see this fight. There is a story behind it. These two guys do not like each other. If you saw the MMA Hour this past Monday, you saw that they went back and forth on Ariel's show. He had them on at the same time. It was awesome. Go back and watch it. These two guys hate each other. Cole Miller is on a hot streak right now. Conor McGregor is on a hot streak. He's got a lot of hype around him. I think Conor McGregor absolutely destroys Cole Miller. I don't think he misses a step. I think he comes back. I think he knocks out Cole Miller in the first or second round. Pinpoint accuracy. And then people are going to be calling for Conor McGregor to fight someone like Cub Swanson next. And it's going to be awesome. And the crowd's going to be amazing. I am excited.
Yeah, it's actually going to be a good fight, Man, just fuck. Saying every single fight we break down is going to be a bum fight, that's... Fuck. I don't know. I'm not going to get too serious about it, but yeah, Conor and Cole, if Conor can keep it standing, which I think he can, I don't think Cole really is that stout a wrestler to force it to the ground. Conor will keep it standing, and he should win that. Another fight in Dublin, Gunnar Nelson taking on Ryan LaFleur. Like I said, it's going to be July 19th. I'm really excited for this fight. Both of these guys are fucking spectacular. Gunnar absolutely mauled his last opponent. He has some fucking just dominant grappling, and Ryan LaFleur, he gets a tougher and tougher opponent every time, and he keeps passing the test. I'm a little bummed because it means one of these hype trains is going to be derailed, but both of these guys are fucking fantastic. I cannot wait for this fight going down in the welterweight division. Anyone have actual analysis of the fight?
Yeah, let someone with logic speak. I'll talk first this time because people actually want to hear what I have to say. I love this fight just like I love the main event. The main event and co-main event, and really the entire Dublin card is fantastic. And if you live in Ireland, if you live in Dublin, get tickets to the show. They're not going to come to Dublin all the time. They're not going to come to Ireland all the time, but they really should because that crowd is awesome and the show is going to be fan-fucking-tastic. These guys are the future of the welterweight division. And no matter who wins, no matter who loses, I think both of these guys are going to be top 5, top 7 in the division within the next 2 years. There's nothing but big things ahead for Ryan LaFleur. There's nothing but big things ahead for Gunnar Nelson. Renzo Gracie, who our very own Ninja knows very, very well, he puts in his word that Gunnar Nelson is going to be the welterweight champion soon. And that's some big praise from a very, very big name. And if Renzo Gracie says you're going to be the welterweight champion, if he's saying you're that damn good, that means a lot.
The guy's legit.
Ryan LaFleur is being touted as one of the best welterweight prospects there is, and he is so underrated. And he's started working with the Black Zillions, and he's training there pretty much full time now. And he's just looking fantastic in every fight. He had a long layoff a little while ago because of a couple of surgeries, torn ACL, and he came back strong, and he's gone 11-0 now. He's looking great. He's looking better and better and better. I love this fight. I'm leaning Ryan LaFleur because I'm a little biased, but yeah, this is going to be insane.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it. LaFleur's 11-0, Nelson's 12-0-1. Both of them, I think, by far are the toughest opponent they've ever faced. This is going to be an exciting fucking fight. Ramsey, Xiao, Ninja.
Gunnar Nelson.
I have to kind of eat my words on this one and say that yes, for the first time in your lives, listeners, please listen to Ross Finkelstein, the best Jew in the business, on the point that he made that my own mentor, the guy that saw something in me and look how great I am, the guy that saw something in me, Renzo Gracie, if he gives his nod to somebody like Gunnar Nelson, then you better believe it. And that is the honest to God truth. If Renzo's going to stick his neck out there and put his faith and belief in somebody, you better believe it, because Renzo Gracie knows his stuff. Shout out to my mentor, my brother, my best friend, the great master, Renzo Gracie.
Hell yeah, Renzo's a beast. Yeah, Ramses, Nelson, LaFleur. Gonna be a fucking fun fight.
I'll watch it, but I mean, Gunnar Nelson, man, he's a personal friend of mine. So I hope nothing, but the best. But when he tries to strike, it gets a little iffy. I'll even say that. But hopefully he'll stick to what got him there. And
yeah.
That's all I have to say.
To be a welterweight champion, you definitely got to be a little bit more well-rounded than Nelson currently is. I think that's why they're sort of working him up pretty slow. The guy's young; he's only 25. The Icelandic black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Renzo Gracie. He is a fucking animal. Yao, you haven't said anything to throw in before we move on? No, we do not. Yao, speechless. Ramses, we have a fight tip tonight, or are we going to go straight on to UFC Fight Night 40?
I'd like to say a few words briefly for the fight tip. It's a short one tonight, folks.
Let me find the music. There it is. Ramses' fight tip. Ramses, take it away.
Hell yeah, people. I'm coming at you again with a fight tip of the week here on the MMA Podcast. It's the word in the street, fight tips, people. It's a whole series. But this one, I'm going to keep it short. It's called How to Fight the Man. And the short, hard answer is that you absolutely cannot fight the man, people. You're going to lose every time. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this 23, 32-year-old guy, I don't even know, living in his parents' basement, being sued by the UFC right now for $32 million for pirating UFC pay-per-view events, putting that shit out there on the torrents, stealing people, doing wrong. He got busted. They served him up with a $32 million lawsuit. This kid, man, was taking donations for being a thief. Anybody that contributed to this, I hope nothing but the worst things in life, all the bad things in life happen to you. You. And only you. Maybe everybody you love, people, but here's how you fight the man. You don't. You can't. This kid, he's now giving interviews claiming I don't know what's going on. I'm some sort of agoraphobic head case. I've been in my room for 4 years. He's saying he never leaves the house. He's just terrified of people or something. And he was using the donations to pay for his anti-anxiety and crazy bipolar medication. Let me tell you something, people. This kid was a thief. He knew he was doing wrong. And you know what? The only good thing I gotta say to this punk-ass kid, you thief, I gotta say, the only positive thing for you is that when you can't come up with the $32 million, they're gonna throw your ass in a prison cell, and you ain't gonna leave that room for a very long time, so you'll be right at home, you son of a bitch. And that's the bottom line. Word on the street.
Powerful words against the kid. I think he's living in New Jersey or something, getting sued for an ass ton of money. He was uploading pay-per-views, I believe. I don't know. This is not going to be a pay-per-view, the fight we're breaking down. It's going to be on Fox Sports 1. It's going to be a fun fight. I'm unfortunately not going to be able to catch it. I got to work, but you know what? I'll legally DVR that shit, and that's not being being facetious or anything. I do have Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2 on DirecTV. Speaking of which, let's start with the prelim fights. Let's start with those 7 fights on Fight Pass. We're going to see Anthony Lapsley take on Albert Tumanov at welterweight, a lightweight fight between Justin Salas and Ben Wall, and a featherweight fight, which I'm surprised this wasn't on the Fox Sports 2 card. It's all the way down on the UFC Fight Pass. Nick Lentz taking on Manny Gamburian. That's going to be a fun fight. Leading off the Fox Sports 2 card, we have Eddie Wineland, who recently fought for the belt, taking on Johnny Eduardo. He's a big favorite there. Jan Cabral taking on friend of the show, Zach Cummins. Kyoji Horiguchi versus Daryl Montague. That was going to be Allen's fight of the night at flyweight. Horiguchi used to fight all the way up at 170. Finally fighting at 125. Let's see how he can do at that weight class. And at middleweight, Ed Herman taking on Rafael Natal. A couple of pretty underrated middleweights. You don't need to break down every one, but which fights stand out to you guys? Anyone, for God's sake.
I'll take over. Manny Gamburian versus Nick Lentz is actually a very fun fight, and it shouldn't be on the Fight Pass prelims. So that's one to really look out for. Eddie Wineland and Johnny Eduardo is going to be fucking awesome. Both guys are fantastic strikers. So watch that. That opens the Fox Sports 2 card. Zach Cummings, Team Darkside. Of course, you have to watch that. And the main event, I guess you could say, of the prelims, Ed Herman and Rafael Natal. That's a very, 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 very fun middleweight fight. Ed Herman and Rafael Natal, both very, very good grapplers, and both pretty damn good strikers, too. Both top 15 in the division. So, or maybe not top 15. Top 20, top 15. Depends how you rank people. So, yeah, those are the ones to look out for. I have nothing else to say. Someone take over. Someone with logic, though. Someone actually say something that's not a troll or not something that's going to be stupid.
If I start hearing a speech about why all of these fights are suck and don't matter, I'm going to start playing Booker T music or some shit. Don't make me do it.
All right, I guess I'll just go on and give my piece. Can you? The fight, okay. The fight I'm looking forward to the most out of all of these is the Ed Herman and Rafael Natal. You know, Safo fighting Team Renzo Gracie. I'm actually looking forward to him making his return. He needs another win, and I think he can do very well against Ed Herman.
I believe Ross wanted somebody to speak and actually make sense. So I believe that was a direct pass to me. These fights are great for only 2 reasons. One is Zach Cummings, great guy, great friend of the show, Team Darkside all the way. The other one, Team Renzo. I cannot be biased on that. If he's a member of Team Renzo, then I got to go for him. I wish them the best of luck. And honestly, those are the only 2 reasons I'm going to be watching.
Ramses, any comments on a man both of us have interviewed? I actually met in Las Vegas, Zach Cummings.
Yeah, man, that's the only fight I'm really excited about. Zach Cummings is, another good friend of mine. He's even closer to me than Pat Barry. But yeah, dude, so I'm pulling for him in this fight. He missed weight, and his opponent refused his fight in Japan or Madagascar. It slips my mind at this point, but Zach Cummings, he missed weight by 5 or 8 pounds or something ridiculous like that. But he did a make good. He posted on Facebook a long epic rant that cleared the whole matter up, and so now he's back. He's going to defeat Jan Cabron easy. I've never even heard of this other guy, so no joke. Zach Cummings, definitely word on the street. Fight, pick, win, everything.
He's going to be in that Fox Sports 2 card. We'll move on to the main card on Fox Sports 1. Chris Carriazo against Louis Smolka. Soa Palele taking on Juan Potts. Carriazo and Pelele should be pretty heavy favorites there. Neil Magny taking on Tim Means. That should be a close fight. Eric Koch will be favored, but expect fireworks in the fight between him and Derek Cruikshank. And Costa Philippou taking on Lorenz Larkin in a middleweight fight where the winner will still sort of be up there in contention. The loser will have a long way to go. What do you think about these 5 fights? We'll save the main event and talk about that on its own, but does anything stand out to you? I'm really looking forward to Darren Cruikshank, the first guest we ever had on the show, episode 1. A big fan of his. I think he's also the only guy in the UFC we've had on twice, so definitely going to be rooting for him, taking on Eric Koch, who's recently moved up from featherweight.
I guess I'll go first again. I'm looking forward to the lightweight fight between Eric Koch and Darren Cruikshank. That's going to be fun. Both of those guys have very, very good striking. Definitely a fight to look out for, but honestly, like, I'm really, really, really looking forward to the Lorenz Larkin versus Costa Philippou fight. I really, really can't wait to see Lorenz Larkin win. I think he can defeat Costa Philippou within the first round. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Hell yeah, you got to play a little bit of AB whenever Yao's breaking it down. Philippou, Koch, Carriazo, Pelele. We got a bunch of names on this main card. Who's next? Who's jumping in?
I'm jumping in. This is a fun main card. The fight I'm looking forward to the most out of all these is definitely Koch Cruikshank. Both very, 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 very fun fighters. And I think Eric Koch is better at lightweight. He claims he's better at lightweight. He says the cut to 145 is just too much. He says he feels a lot better at 155. And I believe him. He looked awesome in his last fight. I think he's going to defeat Darren Cruikshank. I think he's going to finish Darren Cruikshank. Shut the fuck up. This is just the worst show ever. This is just horrible.
This show is such a train wreck. Oh my god.
I think we'd be lucky if 3 people listen to this. Like, they're gonna tell their friend, and their friend's gonna be like, dude, this was horrible. Why the fuck did you make me listen to this? Fuck this. I'm out.
Nah, you gotta stay on for Brown versus Silva. That's definitely an interesting fight. I want to break down Ninja Ramses. Anything standing out to you on the main card?
Cruikshank, man, all the way. Darren, man, he's a good friend of mine. He's gonna beat the hell out of Eric Kane, man. It's not even gonna be close. It will be fight of the night, is my prediction. Even the boss Dana White himself likes this fight, dude. There are going to be, the Detroit Rockstar or Monster or whatever. He's going to tear this guy apart. Eric Kane, you're done, son. It's all over for you. I'm predicting a knockout here at some point due to fists.
Knockout due to fists, Ninja. We saved the best for last. What's standing out to you on this main card before we get to Brown Silva?
I'm sorry. I just can't come up with any words after that beautiful Celine Dion song. Memories are going through my head right now. Such a beautiful song. You're gonna have to skip over me. I need to take a moment.
Here, far. Yeah, I don't know the lyrics to this. So let's get to Matt Brown taking on Eric Silva. But I think we got a stat of the day lined up. So let's do it. Stat of the day for the main event. Matt Brown, Eric Silva. Let's do this shit.
Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Here comes the stat of the day!
Both these guys in the main event are used to fights being stopped. All 4 of Eric Silva's UFC wins have ended in the first round, while through 29 fights, Matt Brown has only seen the judges' scorecards 4 times. Brown's 6-fight win streak is currently the longest in the welterweight division.
Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Here
and I cannot wait for this one. Matt Brown, Eric Silva, not Eric Brown and Matt Silva. I apologize for that before. Like I said, though, Matt Brown on a 6-fight win streak, 5 of those KOs. KOs against Chris Cope, Luis Ramos, and his last 3 wins are all against impressive opponents: Mike Swick, Jordan Meehan, and Mike Pyle. We all remember when he derailed the Stephen Thompson hype train. Eric Silva, not on a 6-fight win streak, only a 1-fight win streak since joining the UFC, has been on this win-loss streak. Beat Luis Ramos, lost to Carlo Prater, beat Charlie Brenneman, lost to John Fitch, and what was a excellent fight of the night, but he ended up losing the unanimous decision. He beat Jason High with an impressive first-round submission, inverted triangle armbar, but then we all remember that KO lost to Dong Young Kim last October, and then he stepped in against Takanori Sato. Ramses remembers this one. He beat Sato less than a minute in, won a Performance of the Night bonus. This is going to be a very good fight. Both guys sort of have the knock that they can't beat top-notch guys, and they'll be trying to prove the haters wrong. I'm actually really shocked. Vegas has Matt Brown, a pretty sizable underdog here. I think he's plus 200, which I was shocked at. I thought Brown would be a sizable favorite. So if Ramses is right and we're all crazy, if this is a work, it'll obviously be Eric Silva, because I'm sure a lot of money is coming in on Matt Brown. But it's going to be a war. Eric Silva, Matt Brown, who's jumping in? Who's picking who? God damn it.
I'm in. And I am picking the greatest fighter to ever live, the immortal Matt Brown. Matt Brown has one thing that Eric Silva doesn't. And that, my friends, is the ability to kill a man with one punch. Matt Brown is going to kill Eric Silva in the state of Ohio on Saturday night. Thank you.
Damn, it's powerful.
That's
Ramses.
bullshit. That's what it was.
Just for the record, I'd like to say my name is not Matt Brown, so Ross's last statement was incorrect. Go ahead, Ramses.
I was just going to say that was total bullshit that you heard from fake Ross, dude, because, the actual Ross is dead. That was bullshit. Matt Brown don't know the dim mock. He don't. And that's the bottom line.
Well, the ninja will break the silence and say, I'm going to go for Matt Silva, actually. I think he's got a lot to prove.
Matt Silva, hell yeah.
I think he's got a lot to prove. And always fear the fighter that has a lot to prove and nothing to lose. And I believe in this fight, that is Eric Silva.
Yeah, last but not least.
I just wanted to say it's pretty cool how we had Travis Brown versus Antonio Silva. Now we have another Brown versus Silva. So I'm just going to pick the Silva again, since the last Silva won against when he fought a guy named Brown, if that makes sense.
You mean Fabricio Verdum?
No. When Bigfoot Silva fought Travis Brown, the Silva
Oh, yeah,
won.
yeah. Sorry.
So I'm going to pick...
I was thinking you were talking about that one.
So I'm going to pick the Silva again to win against a guy named Brown.
Well, I'm glad you went logical there. This entire podcast
This was the biggest hunk of shit I've ever had.
Usually after a show, I'm like, great show, guys. This show was absolutely horrible, but thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting us. We're on iTunes, YouTube, you know all that shit. Ross, tell us where to find the Jew.
You want to find me? If you're even still listening to this fucking show, I commend you.
Nobody is.
You've survived. Congratulations. I don't know how I have. Oh my God, what a melting pot we have here. If you want to find me on Twitter, you can find me on Twitter at Ross Finkelstein, EB4 the L. You know the whole gimmick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
I should be more sorry. It's my show. I led all of my listeners into a goddamn wood chipper tonight. Who else is on this goddamn call? Yeah, where do we find you? I hear you got a Muay Thai fight in the works. Tell us about that shit. Whatever you want to say. This podcast is a train wreck.
Yeah, first I just want to say, ignore the negativity, people. Live your life, with a positive mind, positive outlook. Just try to stay positive at all times.
I'll break it down.
You can follow me on Twitter at Yao_the_truth, YAO_the_truth.
Ninja Larson, the Gracie Ninja, where do we find you, buddy?
Listen, everybody that's listening right now, don't believe these guys. This was a great show just because I was on it. I don't know where these guys are getting their information from. I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fans that tune in just to hear my sweet and savvy voice. Savvy probably wasn't the word, but it sounded cool. So, you can follow me all. I know you're big fans. I'll change your life for the better. Follow me at the Gracie Ninja. I am the world famous Gracie Ninja. It's a life-changing thing. Thank you all, my millions and millions of fans and followers and friends that are listening right now.
Fuck up.
I'm sorry you had to listen to all these jokesters and half-wits on here, but I love you all. God bless. Shout out to Henzo Gracie, the man, the greatest man alive.
Ramses, where do we find you, buddy?
You hide your weed and you don't know where you put it, but you get high and you'll find it.
Thanks for having me on once again, the MMA podcast. The word in the street, you can follow me, the Aunt Jimmy Show on Twitter. And just real quick, I want to give a quick shout out to a couple friends of mine out there, listening out there tonight. I used to actually work with Matt Brown. He's a good friend of mine. Pat Barry, Conor McGregor, Gunnar Nelson, Dana White, Lorenzo Fertitta, Vince McMahon, CM Punk, Chael Sonnen, Michael Jackson. The list goes on and on. To all my friends, you know who you are out there. See you next week, people. Thanks.
We'll see you next Wednesday on the MMA Podcast. We'll see you next Tuesday on The Word on the Street. You can subscribe to both of those by visiting the MMApodcast.com. Clicking the tabs at the top to follow us, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, what the fuck ever. Of course, Twitter, the MMA Podcast. We love the shit out of you. We'll see you next week. We gone.